Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we got something really awesome. 380, no, we're not doing that. 9 no, we're not doing that. 500 JRH. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Okay, so what are we talking about? We are talking about the guy that she told you not to worry about. That's right, we are talking about the 500 JRH. This is a 380 ACP bullet right next to it. Dang, that's scary. We're going to be shooting this today into some clear ballistic gel. We've got our 500 JRH BFR, biggest, finest revolver. It's a 5.5 inch. I do have a fiber optic front sight so that these old eyes can see it just a little bit better. We're going to be shooting this into some ballistic gel. We're going to be doing some tests with it. We're going to see what kind of loadings we got from the folks over at Aria Engineering. Just so you know, I have no relationships with BFR or Aria. This is all my purchases, unfortunately, and as well, additionally, with the clear ballistic gel. But we have a 350 grain XTP bullet. It's an XTP Magnum, Hornady XTP Magnum bullet. Supposed to be going 1,500 feet per second. I think that's an average out of a 7.5 inch barrel. And it should be getting around 1,700 energy foot-pounds. So we'll see what this can do. Also, has a TKO of 37. Remember, that's when you combine the bullet diameter with the bullet velocity with the bullet mass. And you get that? And that was made up back in the days when we were taking a look at what's it going to take out some big Africa game. So the higher that number is, the better it is. All right, so with that said, we've had this single action on the channel before. I'm a big fan of doing single actions when you do these bigger rounds. Therefore, when I get crazy kickback and it comes back to hit me, we don't get two accidental discharges and one is hitting me back in the head or something crazy like that. So we're just going to be loading up in single action. And we're going to be doing some tests into ballistic gel. We got our regular clear 10% clear ballistic gelatin down there. We're going to put 2 layers of medium density fiberboard. So that's a 1/2 inch of medium density fiberboard. We're going to put our layers of t-shirt, layers of denim in there, simulate kind of more of a skin type from an animal. I know there's probably better like having some leather and other things like that, but I don't have that today. So we're going to do the best that we can. We'll just shoot a few rounds because this sucker is going to hurt me when I do it. I just know it. I'm getting better at practicing and shooting with this revolver, but it takes some practice so that I don't smash my finger and I have a really good grip on there. Pin that trigger to the back, as Mountain Man tells me, and have a good time with shooting some big bores out today. All right, well, that's what's on tap for today. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. All right, when I was a kid, man, I think probably until about the age of 7 or so, you couldn't find me without my sidearm with me. Now, I was a big Lone Ranger aficionado, and so I always had, I don't know, one of those plastic holsters and with the caps. That was me, so I'm living my best life yet again. All right, well, so let's get this out. We'll load one of these up. We'll get down, squat down into it. Again, it has a side loading gate, so we put one down into it, spin it around, so that when we cock that hammer, this is the round that is up into it. So that hammer is cocked. We're going to make sure that I am all the way around. Hopefully we get a shot here on target. Let me get this slow motion camera going. Get my grips right. I really want to get my grip right. Alrighty. Pin that trigger to the back, trigger bar. Pin that trigger to the back. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go down and see what that did. All right, we see that we came down, we went through that, look at that, we just tore that stuff up. But we had a bad angle and we came out here, went into this, went into here, through that box. Ironically, I have another piece of gel in there. and it went through the gel lengthwise, through this, through here, out the end of that, and then out the box, and then who knows where it goes. We're gonna try one more time. We're gonna try one more time. Yeah, you know, my gel blocks were hard to see behind that medium density fiberboard, and they were angled at a different way than I was for it. So unfortunately, we didn't quite get that. So get the next one loaded up, get this cocked, we'll get ready. I'm gonna get on this camera. I'm gonna come back here, make sure I am lined up with where the gel is going so that we can be right on track. All right, we're gonna cock this. Again, that didn't hurt, so that was good. I did a good job with that, but I just didn't do good. And notice how it really knocked me off. That's kind of funny. All right, here we go. Little bit low, maybe. Let's go down and see. Maybe it got it that time. Okay, well, let's see what the damage is. We lost our gel block. Look, this is pretty cool. Look, the t-shirt is most of the way through. Most of the way through. Pull the t-shirt out. There's a nice hole through that. All right, we went through there, and maybe we kind of hit the bottom. I can't remember. I don't know. I think this was the first shot, and this is probably the second. We must have just hit the bottom on this second shot. Let's take a look at this gel, see if we can get some better angles of it. Yeah, let me flip this around. All right, we got two shots right next to each other. Not even sure if you can see it. We got petals everywhere. So we got petals going. This close shot is the shot that we kept and we actually caught. The one that's behind it and is below it, you can almost see it this way, maybe. Yeah, see it this way. This is the first shot that went out the side, lost a whole bunch of petals, probably around at the 10-inch mark, because again, this is 16-inch block here, maybe 12-inch mark. The second one lost a whole bunch, and it kind of went down along the table. And then in the second gel block, it skipped around and we caught it. I think it skipped down on the table, tore up my mat a little bit. And then there is our projectile. Woohoo! Woohoo! So let me try and reconstruct that a little bit for everyone. Okay, just looking at it again, we would actually be at a 1/2 inch further. So I'll put that up because we have the medium density fiberboard. And then it got all the way out to here. At this spot is where we got it out. And again, it was kind of bouncing around the bottom. So it got out about 26 inches in there. And then let's take a look at this projectile. That's freaking awesome. This is like a huge slug. That's very cool. We'll take a look at what the expansion on that was. Not huge expansion, and that's XTP. That's what XTP does. So 0.68. Remember, it starts off at 0.5. So, but just a pretty significant slug. We'll try and get a weight of this a little bit later, and I'll throw that in the video, but dang, that's freaking awesome. Starting to get a little bit of jacket separation. Maybe with 500 Magnum you get quite a bit more, but it definitely lost petals. There's chunks of jacket and lead that are in this as it's going through. So here's more jacket that's right there. Yeah. Chunks of lead and jacket going in throughout. That'd put a hurt on whatever you're hunting for sure. I would really, for me, this is probably like a deer round. This is what I would be using for deer hunting. I don't know. You can do elk hunting if you want. It's definitely big enough to take an elk, but you got to be up and close. But deer, you can be in a stand and probably get. I'm not sure if elk hunting where you're up in a stand. I haven't really seen that, but it's definitely people who archery hunt and get close enough, so you could do that if you want. When we take a look at this bullet, there are 303.6 grains remaining. Okay, well, we are at about 20 yards, and we're going to do two things. We're going to do a little bit of practical accuracy, 20 yards, And then we are also going to do a little bit of velocity testing with the Garmin C0. It's right here. And we got that set up. We got our 3 rounds loaded because I don't want to put a lot of rounds. My wrists, everything. Here we go. Remember, I got my cool holster. It's not cocked, right? There's nothing in the chamber. That's the kind of cool thing about this holster. It's got a little leather loop, so it can keep that hammer down so it doesn't accidentally cock. So you can have the rounds loaded up, flip that off, pull out, cock it, and then be ready to shoot, right? Okay, well, let's see how we do. Again, we are at about 20 yards. Let's see if I can get some shots on this target, and we'll see if we can capture some ballistics with it. Well, we captured the ballistics. I think I missed the target. I flinched something terrible. See if we can do a little bit better. All right, 1429. $14.04. I am flinching something awful. I gotta calm down. I think I'm missing way low. I think I'm like dipping way low. All right, here we go. Last one. And 1409. So yeah, we got our rounds in there. All right, see this. Use our little ejector rod to get these out if you're not familiar with single actions. So for 3 shots, we had a min of 1404, an average of 1414, and a max of 1420. Extreme spread of 25, standard deviation of 10.9, average kinetic energy of 1554. Yeah, well, that's doing something pretty good. So we are up in that big kinetic energy. Let's go down and laugh at myself as we go take a look at how bad I was flinching. I don't even think I hit that target. So I got 1 hole down here, and that's the only hole that I know of because everything else was so terrible. Dang, that's awful. It's possible some of these other holes up here or hear them, but I think I was just flinching too much. Let's move in a little bit and see what we can do with a couple more shots. Okay, well, we are at a much more respectable 10 yards. Hopefully we can hit somewhere on this target and see where we're hitting at with this ammunition and see if I can actually, this has nothing to do with the ammunition, it has everything to do with me, see if I can get a hit on this target. That's getting embarrassing. All right, we got a hit that time. And we're just gonna do one more because, yeah, the wrists start to hurt just a little bit about that with this. So, all right, here we go. Well, we got 2 hits, but I am definitely flinching low and left, which tells me I am anticipating recoil like crazy. Let's go down and take a look at it. All right, these are our 2 hits at 10 yards. I definitely was aiming here. That low and left is telling me this has nothing to do with how this gun is sighted in, everything to do with how I am flinching. We may have to take this to a range though at some point and just bench rest it and get it sighted in. But for now, we're kind of looking at it and seeing what this ammunition does. I think it definitely could be a fine deer hunting round if you get a little bit better at shooting than I am. Feeling lucky, punk? Yeah, you can laugh, but that's what I like doing as a kid. This kind of gun kind of brings that back for me. Also satisfies the itch to break your wrists and do other fun things like that while you're out having fun at the range. It's definitely a fun gun, really enjoying it. Aria Engineering, I'm so glad there's like at least 2 manufacturers out there that are making ammunition for the 500 JRH. Aria Engineering seems to be doing a great round. I love that they have some quote-unquote hunting rounds that you might want to use. That XTP, make sure that it stops inside of the animal. That may go through a deer, especially a whitetail. Maybe not a bigger animal, but seems to be loaded well enough to get the job done. Definitely, I am not an expert in this, never claimed to be. If you watch any of my other previous videos on this, I'm just learning how to shoot these big bores at the moment, but I'm sure having a fun time with it, and I'm loving it. Now, if you have any other questions, if there's other ammunition you want me to test, I did buy a couple of different kinds from Aria, so I'll be testing those over the next few months and weeks. But let me know what you guys think. Hope everyone has a great week. Let's get shooting. So, and that's kind of one of the interesting things about this holster is it's got a nice little, you guys can't even see it. You guys can't even see it. I'm talking about it. That's getting embarrassing. Living for freedom, defending our rights. We got